it's Lizzie. Today I'm making a relationship advice video. After last week's video when I reacted to my first ever YouTube video, it made me super nostalgic thinking back to the origins of my channel and how I started off giving all of this relationship advice. I asked you guys on Instagram, which is my first and my last name, so definitely follow my Instagram. I asked you guys for questions for this video, so we're just going to go through them. Is it hard for you to not have sex with your boyfriend? No. What I really recommend is to only date someone who feels as strong as you about sex only being in marriage and is completely against birth control, the pull-out method, condoms. You'll be in a situation where if you do have sex, you could get pregnant because you do not own birth control. I think that's just a huge incentive to not have sex. But also what I did, and I think one of the reasons why it's been very easy in my relationship, is that early on in the relationship, I prayed and prayed and prayed so intensely that we would be able to maintain physical boundaries. When we would be kissing each other early on in the relationship, when it was the most like emotional, passionate, honeymoon phase type situation, when we would be kissing each other, I would be praying so much that we would maintain our physical boundaries. So it's really important to rely on God's power to not trust yourself too much, but also if it's becoming a problem where you're scared about personal boundaries, maybe don't hang out in bed with them. Don't hang out late at night on your couch watching Netflix together. Like, don't be in a situation where something could happen. If they have roommates, hang out in a group place together. Don't hang out alone in an apartment where no one would know if you had sex. Also, talk to your other friends about it and keep each other accountable in your relationships. When do you share your mental health status to the person you are dating? So I talk about it on the first date. I know a lot of people might not be comfortable with that, but I feel like, especially with bipolar disorder or schizophrenia or schizoaffective disorder, it's something so integral and important in your life that I feel like you'd be lying if you didn't bring it up pretty early on in the relationship. You don't have to be like me and bring it up immediately in the first conversation, but I did make an entire YouTube video talking about coming out, about having a mental illness, so that is linked up here and in the description, and I just talk about it more in depth and how to be brave in sharing about it. Is there something wrong if a Catholic couple decides not to have kids? This is a really harsh answer, but yes. In Catholicism, and if you look at Christian history, it was always this way until artificial birth control the past couple hundred years. For the vast majority of Christian history, the definition of marriage has been having children and raising the next generation of humans. That's been the core purpose of marriage. We did not use birth control in Catholicism, so yes, you can space out your children using natural family planning and fertility methods, but if you go into marriage with the intention of never having children, either by using birth control or natural family planning, and you never have children, that's not what marriage is. Obviously, there's exceptions where people are infertile, but in that situation, it still does not make sense to not adopt children because marriage is about having children. And I do not want you guys to get the wrong idea. Obviously, the love and relationship, the sacrifice between the couple is also a complete family unit. It's so important to have that love and unity between the husband and wife in order to have an amazing, loving home for the children. So it's both. It's about the unity of the couple. The romance, the love, the unity of the couple is the foundation of the family, but you also have to have children. And so if you don't want to have children, I would really, really carefully discern, maybe talk to a spiritual mentor or a spiritual director, and think about if you really do want to get married and if you want to have a family. If that's something that could really be a vocation for you in your life. And maybe in that discernment process, you would think, yeah, I actually do want to have children. I would love to make that sacrifice and to serve the church in that way. Or maybe you'll decide, yeah, marriage isn't for me. Is it possible to really find a Catholic girl nowadays? Yes, I am a Catholic girl. So I receive so many complaints by people who do not know other young Catholics at their church. And I think the issue is that people feel like if they get involved in a Bible study or get involved in parish life, it's only going to be families and old people. So what's the point in even getting involved? That I've seen amongst a lot of my friends too, they don't even go to church, they don't even go to mass because they feel like there's going to be no young people there. But the issue is everyone is thinking this at the same time and not going to church and not getting involved. So every single one of you watching this video right now, decide in this moment to go to mass every week, go to mass throughout the week, become super involved in your parish and your parish Bible study. And through that, all of us millennials are going to collectively form communities. I really recommend using dating apps though. I had 4 friends get married this year and they all used Bumble as a way to get to know each other. And one of the couples is Catholic. So you can put on your profile that you are Catholic and want to find a Catholic, but if you're waiting around to get into a relationship and you just haven't been able to get into a relationship, take the initiative and get a dating app and start going on dates. Advice for Catholics who are dating and highly considering marriage to a non-Catholic. What's the absolute most important is participating in the sacraments and attending mass at least once a week. Is it feasible? Is it possible to be married to this person for the rest of my life and to still go to mass every single week, if not more, go to confession, and when you have kids, to also bring your kids to mass every week, to bring your kids to catechism class, to talk about the faith with your kids? Is that possible? Is your partner going to support you attending mass every week, support the kids being baptized, support you teaching the Catholic faith to your children? If that is possible, go ahead. But if you think that the other person is going to get in the way of you participating in the sacraments, then it's time to leave the relationship. Because Christianity and staying close to God is the most important part of your life. And I think it's heartbreaking if the other person cannot understand that. So in addition, at least be participating in some sort of spiritual activity together, whether it's praying every night, praying before you eat, reading the Bible together. Obviously, this becomes a lot easier if you're with a Protestant who also is Christian and knows about the faith. I think you're going to be able to have spiritual activities together. But yeah, be with someone who encourages or at least allows you to practice your faith and isn't discouraging about it and doesn't get in the way and is open to your children being raised Catholic. What do you do when you have feelings for unavailable guys, seminarians, engaged? This could also be if you're in a relationship and attracted to someone else out of your relationship. What do you do? So I think it's really important that when it comes to distracting someone who wants to become a priest, or when it comes to possibly cheating in your relationship, don't be around these people. Don't talk to them. Don't have them in your life. There are billions of people in the world. There are so many people that you can form a close relationship with. And so if you feel like you're starting to blur the lines, it might be a great idea to take a step back. And you don't need to be confrontational about it. You don't need to be like, we're not talking anymore. Just stop reaching out as much, write shorter text replies, and eventually you'll become further apart. And I know that might seem like super harsh advice, but we have priest shortages worldwide, and it's just not worth it to mess with someone like that. If you do really want to stay friends with this person, I recommend definitely back off a little bit and don't reach out as much, but maybe occasionally spend time with them, but definitely tone it down and less interactions, and do not flirt with them. And by this, I mean, don't be laughing at all their jokes, locked eye contact, touching their arm when you laugh, hanging out with them one-on-one, talking late into the night, FaceTiming all the time, texting a lot, liking pictures on social media, any of that. Just tone it down. Don't do that as much. And also avoid talking about really in-depth stories about your life, ways you've been hurt by your parents, your dreams and ambitions, anything dark that you've been through in your life, your struggles. Just keep the conversations more superficial, and if the conversation starts veering towards something of extreme emotional and spiritual depth, then Stop talking about it and make it more superficial. How do you work on yourself before entering into a relationship? So I really love this question because if you do not love yourself, are not confident without anyone else in your life, then you're not going to be able to have a healthy relationship because you're constantly relying on the other person to give you meaning and worth and happiness. I think it's really healthy to not jump from relationship to relationship to relationship, but during your most formative years in high school and college, I think it's really positive if you do have months or years where you can be single and just focus on yourself. What I recommend is having a lot of hobbies and interests and passions in your life beyond just going to school, being a student, beyond just work. So for me, I'm really passionate about working out, weightlifting, playing guitar, writing poetry, cooking. I love being vegan so much. I also love going to church. I'm involved in Bible study. I attend different retreats. So joining different art forms, activities, social groups, not only will that prepare you to be in a relationship, but it will actually help you get into a relationship because then you'll be around like-minded people and you'll find someone with a similar interest and passion who will want to be with you. As a Christian and a believer, it's really important for me to have a close and emotional relationship with God where when I'm hurting from something or stressed out, I'm able to go directly to God about it before interacting with other people. I think this is so important in a relationship. If you get really, really hurt by the other person, rather than getting mad at them or lashing out or getting really, really hurt and making the problem even worse, if you can first go to God and heal and then go back to the relationship, I just think it makes conflict management a lot better. And then you'll also be more patient and kind and gentle with how you're treating yourself and with how you're treating them. How to deal with being single after college. So I think I already directly addressed this in the question about how to prepare for a relationship when you're not in a relationship. So just do all of that. Definitely get on dating apps as well if you are wanting to be in a relationship, wanting to get married, but also just focus on becoming really, really close with other people in your life who are also single after college, who might be lonely and just want to form more of a social group. So do group events, ask people to go out to dinner, to go out to coffee, invite people to your house, form a Bible study, just do things with other people. How to stop being impure in a relationship. How to stay pure and keep boundaries in a relationship. So all of these are the same question. I think it's really important too, when you are being physical with someone, remember that the most important thing is pleasing God and making God happy. Not pleasing your significant other, making your significant other happy. The most important thing is to make God happy, to care the most about what God thinks. And so just keep that in mind in your relationship. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, hit the bell button, and follow me on my social media. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!